I'm going to record on this. From now on, for the rest of the evening, it's going to be recording. When it finishes, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and then I'm going to put a link in Moodle. So if you go back and watch it, don't go straight to YouTube and watch it. Go into Moodle and click the link so that you can get credit for have seen it. Like if you've missed a class.
Okay.
That's the only way Moodle can manage that. I can prove who actually went back and watched a class if you missed, and then I give you credit for being in. You know, it just, that's the way I can track it. If you actually watch the recording and you launch it from Moodle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're recording right now, and again, it's okay. I'll set it for automatic recording from now on. I'm gonna go back to screen share. And let's see. So I'm going to make a note of who in the group, if you'll say the word, who would like to get a PowerPoint with all of these symbols in it that came from our motor control class. If you haven't had motor controls, then I can send you the.
Sure.
Eric, I'll bring you everything you need tomorrow. I've got it all copied down.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
you could email it to me, Durwood.
Okay, so email. I'm going to email 117 Chapter 2 symbols to Eric and to Roger.
I'll take it too.
I'd like it also.
Okay.
I'll take one too.
Benjamin. Was that Benjamin talking?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else in the group, would you like to get these symbols that come from motor controls?
Yeah, I'd like to get it too.
I would
Durwood.
as well.
Okay. Nathan.
Yep.
And who else?
Justin.
Me too, Durwood. Michelle.
Okay. Justin. I got Michelle. And who else? How about Kenneth? Okay. Anybody else?
I will.
Who was that?
Connor.
Connor. Okay.
Yeah.
And Mason, please.
And Mason.
Yeah, I got Nathan down. Okay. So I got Eric, Roger, Michelle, Benjamin, Nathan, Justin, Kenneth, and Connor and Cameron. Is that it?
And Mason too, please.
Mason. Okay, we got Nathan and Mason. Got you. Okay.
The winery man, Mason.
Yeah, right. Duplin wineries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, they got PLCs down there. They got PLCs down there making that wine, don't they, Mason?
Everywhere.
PLCs everywhere.
Sure.
And you believe one thing, you got some of the most complicated PLC stuff going on down there with bottle filling.
Oh, yeah.
Where they got flow meters going on. They're measuring with a PLC, a flow meter, of how many ounces they put in the bottle as it goes around, and then it seals and all. It's I've seen filling lines that do shampoos and all down in Rayford at Unilever. So filler capper machines are very complex on. They have to keep up with the amount of the volume, and as they're going around a turntable, they're actually every one of them is being filled individually in shampoo manufacturing, and they're doing it. All of it's being monitored by PLC, and it's actually filling while they're turning and going down the line. So they don't sit still when they're doing it, and it's pretty amazing. So. Okay. All right. So I've got all these folks down. So I'll send you. I'll email you that tonight, so you'll have a copy of all of those. So these three switches that are in series, again, they could be float switches in a water tank. They could be pressure switches, temperature switches, or a combination of those. I mean, for instance, you could have maybe a float switch in here. You could have maybe a pressure switch in here, a temperature switch. It could be any combination of them depending on what your system needed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So again, this is only to show you the logic itself, not which device are we going to be using. They just tell you down in here, it could be any of these. It could even be solid state, like proximity sensors. You could have a solid state prox sensor that could be, they could be that way. No, it's not timers in there, but this chapter 2 in the motor control book is the best chapter in that whole book. So you'll be getting the best PowerPoint that's got the most in it of any chapter you could possibly get a hold of for symbols. And it's got all of the NEMA symbols. If you see right here, I'm gonna maximize this. If I go over, let's see. Let's see. It didn't like that. Let's maximize, let's go larger. So you see all those symbols in there?
Yes.
So right in there, if you see, these are standardized symbols that shows the float. Can you see that pretty clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So that will be your float switch, normally open and normally closed. So here, if the water level is low in the tank, it's going to be open. And when the water rises, of course, it makes. Here, that normally closed float switch, when the water level falls, it's going to be actually made when there's no water in there. And then when the water rises, then it's actually going to pop open. So depending on what you're going to use it for, if you're using it to say, when the tank gets full, then I want to cut a pump on to pump it out, okay?
Right.
Then you would use normally open. But if you're saying, I have this float, the normally closed is going to be there for when the tank gets empty, I want to cut a pump on that's going to bring water into the tank. If you're calling for water, you would use normally closed. And when the water's gone, it would turn a pump on and bring water into the tank. So normally closed would be for bringing water in. Normally closed would be used if you're pumping water out. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
And then the same thing, whether you're doing flow or temperature, pressure, with the suction cup, and there goes your limit switch. If you see the limit switch normally open, limit switch normally closed, that's the wedge. These are the standard NEMA symbols that are used in the U.S. If people are manufacturing stuff in the U.S., they're going to use these symbols here. Okay. If you got international symbols, if you have anything built overseas, then you go to the next screen. You're going to catch this here also. And take a look here. Do you see NEMA and IEC?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so in the U.S., let's go down and let's say a normally open contact in NEMA in the U.S. could be drawn this way or this way. But if it's a piece of equipment that's built in Europe or Japan, anywhere but the U.S., they're going to use the IEC symbols, and it's going to be, this will be for normally open and normally closed. So they draw vertical, not horizontal. So their schematics, instead of them being their symbols, instead of them being like that horizontal, they flip everything vertical, and then they change. Their symbols are a little bit different. You see that? If you go on down and look at a push button, let's go across and look at push button. Let's see if it'll let me go. When I try to do full screen there, when it let me go full screen now. Okay, if you look right down here, do you see a normally open push button?
Yes, sir.
So that would be NEMA. That's in the U.S. Now, international, if you buy a machine from Germany, Italy, Japan, anywhere else in the world but the U.S., they're going to use that symbol there for a normally open push button. You see a normally open contact with a little E over there. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And that means push button. And this is a push button that's normally closed. It's closed until you push it and break it. So that's the U.S. and this is the international. So really, when you get these on your computer, pull them up and take a snapshot with your phone, and you'll have take a picture of all of these symbol sheets here, and you'll have all the best stuff that you're ever going to need in symbols. And I don't care. Most plants you go in now, they're buying stuff from Europe and some of it from the U.S. Some plants build their own equipment, some of it, and then some things they actually have to buy from Europe because nobody's building it over here, or maybe you can buy it cheaper from Europe than to build it here. That's the case in some equipment. So, keep make sure that you have all these symbols here that you can get to them That big sheet is nothing but NEMA. That's all your standard NEMA symbols right there. The next couple of pages in there are going to be the comparisons from NEMA to IEC. And on a motor starter coil in the US, we draw a circle. And then international, they draw a rectangle for that coil that pulls that starter in. Okay. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, good. So any questions?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Okay, good. So next, let's take a look. I'm going to show you what this would look like in a PLC running. And we're going to say that these are safety gate limit switches, okay? So let's pull up a program that I've written, and I'm going to show you a real PLC running that gives that type of a safety circuit. It's going to be a safety circuit that says all of the doors around the machine, around the gate, around the fence around the machine, all the doors have to be closed for the machine to be able to run. And when I show you that, then we're going to let you open up your emulators. Those of you that have the emulator ready, I'm going to show you how to create a ladder logic program in Studio 5000, and then how to actually download it into your emulator and run it. And you can do that, and it doesn't take but a few minutes to do that. So we'll take each circuit one at a time. I'll show you how it works on a real one, and then you're going to go in your studio, create the program, download it to the emulator, and you're going to run it. And we'll just step through all 7 logic functions that way and get you busy tonight doing this. So, so let me minimize, let's see, minimize this, minimize that. Now I'm going to open up Studio 5000 here. And I've already written one called AND Logic. So we're going to just open that up. Now, I'm going to show you how to actually write the program in just a few minutes, and all of it that have got the software up running, you can write this program in just about a minute, okay? And then you're going to set up your emulator to be able to receive it, and then you're going to download it. And it's going to be just like downloading into a regular PLC into a physical machine. So once that came up, you have a dark screen in here. You don't see the logic yet that I created. You have to go in under the controller organizer, and you go under task and main task, and you have to expand the main program, open it up, and go down in here where it says main routine and double click. And then it opens up the logic that I created, and it's kind of small. So you hit the plus symbol like that. And let's go up and over like that. Let's go. And I'm going to enlarge some more. Now, can y'all read where it says safety gate limit switch 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
And master control relay?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to go online with this PLC that I have here. I'm going to show you with the camera, the real PLC that the program is in, and I'm going to run it and let you see what happens when somebody opens the gates on the machine, what happens to the control relay. So if I've already got a program well, I'm just going to take you through the download process. So if you got one written, you're getting ready to write one in a minute. If you have it written, you go under communications and hit who active. And here I'm using an Ethernet connection between the laptop and the PLC because I have a real physical PLC. And let me show you with the webcam what's going on here as far as the connections. Now, on my laptop, there goes my laptop. There goes the program. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
So, how many people are still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still got Nathan and Kenneth and everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because right now I can't really tell who's in for sure. But there goes my laptop. Now look, I'm going to take you down here and show you my Ethernet connection right here. I'm coming out of a USB-C little connector here. It goes into a J5 Create. Thanks to Dylan Ivey that turned me on to that. It goes USB-C because this laptop does not have Ethernet built into it. It's got these little USB-C ports over here on the side, but you can order this adapter here from like Walmart.com. It was about $50. and it's got USB A's on the side, 2 of them, and it's got Ethernet right in there. So it's got that's what I'm after right there's Ethernet. So I'm actually, this is the one coming in. That's my hardwired Ethernet coming in from the internet in my house. Okay, so that's one Ethernet right there. Okay. The other Ethernet I've got going to the PLC is coming from this side. I'm going out of a USB here. You'll laugh at this. I'm going out of USB on the laptop to a USB hub. USB-A to several USB-As. I've got 3 things coming out of that thing. I've got, and the one I'm looking at here that I want you to see is I'm going from USB hub into an Ethernet adapter, a single one right there in my hand. You see that Ethernet jack?
Mm-hmm.
So I've come out of Ethernet, a USB-A to a 3-port hub here because this laptop is limited on what it has. It only has a USB-A on this side. That's all it has. The last laptop I had a lot more ports on it. So now I'm having to go through all this hub stuff to get it. So I left the hub with USB-A, and that little short adapter there on the left there, the USB-A, it's coming right out to here to that Ethernet right there with the blue cable. Now the blue cable is coming over here. So you see the PLC there?
Yep.
So that's a PLC there. It's got a lot of different modules in there. So I'm going to go into the bottom. If you look at the bottom of it, up under here is where the Ethernet is. So we go down here, and there goes your Ethernet. There it has a front port and a back port for Ethernet. You see it?
Yeah.
Now I go up here and it shows, it says Ethernet IP. You see that? And Ethernet IP is the industrial protocol. The IP is the industrial protocol. And it has those 2 ports. So now over here, I've got 3 selector switches. Now we're going to say this is a safety gate. Safety gate 1, safety gate 2, safety gate 3. Okay? Those are going to the inputs up here. Now watch. You watch what happens when I do safety gate 1. You see that light come on?
Mm-hmm.
Now safety gate 2. Safety gate 3. So I've got each safety gate wired to an individual input, and if you can tell, you have input 4. Can you read that? Can you see a 4 up there?
No.
Let's see. Anyway, don't worry about the. How about now?
No.
It gets blurry when you go in close.
How about now?
No.
Okay, it's okay. But I'm going to show you on the screen. Just realize that you've got, that's going to be safety gate 1, 2, and 3. So each of these switches here are wired individually to separate inputs on the PLC is my point. Okay. Now I'm going to show you on paper. If you will, I want you to take a picture of what I'm going to show you right here. Let's see. Let me move my hand. All right, can you read all of that?
Mm.
For the most part, maybe.
If I go in, how about now? Do you see the selector switches?
Yeah, I can see them.
And it's giving you addresses on the right. You see those?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's showing 24 volts DC on the left that feeds the push buttons and the selector switches. And the 24 volts goes into the inputs on the right. So those selector switches are wired to where it says local 1, I, data dot 3, dot 4, and dot 5. Do y'all see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now the dot 3, 4, and 5 is going to be the LED numbers on the module I just showed you that we're lighting up. So input 3, 4, and 5 are going to be what we're saying is the safety switches. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take a picture of what you're seeing there with your phone, because I don't have this, I didn't put this in Moodle. But if you could take a picture of that.
I got a picture.
And do you see up top where it says Compact Logic 5370? Is that visible too?
No.
No.
It's not. Let me back out. How about now?
Not really.
Not really.
Keep on going back. Hey, there we're getting the full picture.
All right. Go ahead and snap that if you can.
Got it.
I'll put a PDF of that on in Moodle. I just hadn't done it yet. I just forgot to.
Yeah, they'll probably work up there.
Yeah.
Right. But did everybody
Yeah.
kind of get a little snapshot of it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
It didn't
Okay,
come
now.
out clear, but
Right.
yeah.
I'm going to make a note here. I'll send you a clear picture of that.
Hey, Durwood, does your camera automatically adjust, or do you have to do it manually?
I got to do it manually. The one I have now, but I've got one ordered that's autofocus and widescreen, and I've had it ordered for about 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
And what has happened is that there's so many people ordering cameras now that they're, I guess, a back order on them. So yeah, the one I have right now that you're looking at is really a $30 camera I bought from Walmart. The first week that we were out, I went to Walmart and bought one, and I didn't really know to go ahead and buy a more expensive one, so I bought a cheaper one to start with. And it's okay. It's okay for what I've got a better one ordered that's autofocus and all that good stuff. So now
It's better than not having one at all.
it's better,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And I'm just glad I got it when I did, because right about time they were all getting gone. They were all getting gone. Now I've got to move this up where you can see. Let's see. I turn. All right, let's go back to the download process. With me, I'm actually connected physically to Ethernet to the PLC. So if you look at the actual the IP addresses there. Now I'm going to go over all this stuff with you, how all that works. But right now I'm going to do a download through Ethernet. Your download is going to be straight from your Studio 5000 straight to the emulator through a virtual backplane. You're not going to use Ethernet on your simulations, because you're going to run it on a virtual PLC that's in your laptop on a virtual backplane. So again, I'm having to do it through Ethernet. Now, the IP address of the PLC is this one. It's the .200. And when I click that and I hit download, you have to point to the device you're going to download to. You get a warning that, when you download to a machine, that you need to have people clear out of the way and just be aware that you get ready to put a new program in there. And that you have to be responsible when you do this, because of actions that can take place when you put a new program in a machine. And so it's actually in the machine now. It's in the PLC now that you see on the screen. It's in there now. And so in one screen, you're seeing the logic up here. And then in the other one, you're seeing, I'm going to show you the switches. Now we're going to say this is safety gate 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to say that's a master control relay there for the machine. Okay. So when I hit this switch, I want you to look at the logic and see it turn green for limit switch 1. You see it go green?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody see that?
Yep.
So that means that the operator went around and shut door number 1 on that machine around that tri-deck, Jamie, over there at Newton Grove. If you got a fence around it, he went to the tri-deck and shut door number 1. Now, the master control relay did not kick in, did it?
No.
No.
It did not. If you notice way over here, it ain't kicked in yet because look, it takes 1 and 2 and 3. And this is called and logic to be able to get that relay to come on. So I'm going to go over here. If you see my switch, I cut it on. And what do you see? You see switch 2 go green, right?
Right.
Now, so and now if he shuts door number 3, then you see, then everything is satisfied. It's 1 and 2 and 3, and then the master control relay come on. It kicked in. Now watch. You hear it? You see that red tab kicking in and out?
Yep.
Now let's see. Let's say if the operator's running and then it jams up. Okay, your tri-deck machine jams up over at hog sled or whatever you're doing. It jams up, and the operator has to go in door number 2 to unjam it. So he opens up door 2. So what do you see happen on the screen?
Closes the master control.
Yeah, it actually opens switch number 2. The door opened up, and when it opened up, then this instruction is not true. It's not true because there's no voltage coming in. The voltage is not coming in from that limit switch, and therefore this rung is called false. Now that's false. The rung is false because all of the conditions are not met. So we got a term called true and false. Okay. This instruction is true when it's lit because there's voltage coming in to that physical input. Now, one thing that I don't know if you've noticed this or not, and when you go back up to the PLC itself, when you look at the wiring diagram, let's look at the wiring diagram right here. Look, we're going to say that it's a safety gate switch instead of a selector. It's a selector what I have here. But look, we've got 24 volts here, 24 volts DC going to these switches. Now switch number 1 goes into input 3. Switch 2 goes to input 4, and switch 3 goes to input 5. Everybody see that?
Yep.
So look, out there in the real world, these switches are not wired in series. Do you see that? They're not wired in series. They're actually, each switch has got 24 volts on them on the left side, and each switch has a dedicated input. This gate switch has input 3. Door number 2 is going to go to input 4. Door 3 is going to go to input 5. Everybody see that? So here's the main point that we're saying that you got to get used to about PLCs. All of your input devices, you do not wire those in series or parallel or combination or anything. You don't wire them that way physically. Each input device, like push buttons or safety switches or whatever, everything gets a dedicated input on the PLC. You see it? Input 2 through 5 there. So everything gets a separate input, a separate LED on the controller. The physical wiring is every device gets a separate input, and nothing is series or parallel out here at all. Okay, you got that? This is on the real world wiring. Now, in the program, we actually assign these, and we create a logic program on the screen that takes these particular inputs and arranges them in a series fashion in the program. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Everybody still with us?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Still
the
here.
point is, if you look at the logic, look at the logic in there. That logic is showing those switches are in series in the program. But in real life, in real life, they have individual inputs, and they're not in series and they're not in parallel. They have individual dedicated inputs with LEDs that can be seen on the front of the PLC. Okay, so up here, up top up there, you have an individual LED that's going to correlate to where it says data dot something here, data dot 3, 4, and 5. That would be those switches right there. They would have LED 3, 4, and 5 up here on the controller. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So in the PLC world, the wiring is super simple. It is super simple. Every field device, if it's providing input information, every input device gets a dedicated input on the controller with its own LED up top that can be easily identified just by looking at LEDs. Is it on or not? Make sense?
Yes.
And then you have to create a logic program, and you use these particular addresses, and you arrange these devices in your program any way you want to do what you want the machine to do, okay? Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So we got to correlate between real world input wiring. Everything gets a dedicated input separately. Nothing's wired together right here. Nothing is. You don't wire things together. You don't wire these devices together at all. They have to be kept separate so they can be programmed individually and they can be troubleshooted individually. And none of these are dependent upon anything else. When something goes wrong and you're missing an input, you're not dependent on anything else that could be causing it a problem. It's going to be this one thing alone. If you're not getting an input, it's this device only. It can't be affected by anything else. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with that being said, you can arrange these how you want to in the computer, in your logic program, but depending on what you want the machine to do. So you can make them to be series, parallel, combination, and that's what you're getting ready to do. So now, with that in mind, if you look at the logic program, if door number 2 is open, of course, then your master control is not going to be on. Now, what happens if you close that one and then it jams up at the end of the machine, and it got to go in safety gate 3? I mean 1. Safety gate 3, he opens that one up. So there you go. It ain't satisfied no more, and then the machine's going to knock off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So these could be door switches. They could be actually emergency stop buttons. Okay? They could be physical buttons that you go in and hit, that an operator would hit in different locations around the machine, or that are surrounding the machine. You might have 3 or 4 e-stops that surround the machine or a process. So you would have those in series, and it would give you permission in some way, something in the program to say the machine can actually cycle. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
Now, let's let y'all configure the emulator to receive a program, and then we're going to let you write this logic here in your Studio 5000, and then download the emulator and run it. Okay? So I'm going to minimize this. Those of you that have the emulator, if you'll go ahead and turn on the emulator.
I haven't finished doing my download yet.
Okay, let me make a note there. Have you? What point are you at, Michelle?
I've got the other one done. I just have not downloaded the simulator. I'm doing that tonight.
Okay, all right. Okay, good. Okay, so let me make a note. You're in progress.
I've got like 93% left on the Studio 5000.
Good,
I mean,
good,
I've got 93% done.
Well, you're doing good to be in a Zoom session, and you're still moving forward with that. So you got some pretty good internet then.
No, I don't. It's just I got it. I got an Ethernet cord hooked up, sitting it right next to it.
Right. That's what I did last night. I hardwired from I got a router in the living room, in the center of the house. And so last night I ran Ethernet from there. I went to Lowe's and bought some of this. You see that? Let's see. You see that decorative conduit right there?
Mm-hmm.
That right there. I went and bought some of that 1/2-inch plastic stuff. It's got a sticky back on the back of it. And I bought a pile of that, and I just stuck it to the wall up high instead of having to run all that through the attic. And I got all the way back here to the back, and then I did fish through the attic in one place to get over the doorway. But that, you can buy 5 foot pieces of that for $5, and you can do a fast install. And if you don't have floor space in your attic to get up in there and do all of this, you know, so that's, again, it has a split. You can either push a cable through it or open it up with a slit like that and get it in there, and it works fine. I got it all run all the way back here, and
I ain't been up in my attic since the blue insulation up there, so I don't even know what it looks
well,
like.
see, most of
Last time I was
most
in
of
my
the
attic,
run,
I
I just
fell
did it.
through
I
it.
just did it with that little small little conduit with a little sticky back on it. You know, and it works fine. It's fast. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So let's go now on the do y'all see my emulator?
Yes.
If everybody will speak up, everybody that has
Yeah,
your
we can,
emulator, do you have yours actually up and running now?
Yes.
Okay. If you give me your name, kind of tell me your name to tell me who's doing this.
Nathan's doing it.
Okay. Who else?
Jameson, I got it.
Jameson. How about
I got it.
Eric?
Yeah.
How about Kenneth?
Yeah, I got it up.
All right. How about McGill?
I got it on. I got it on.
All right. How about Victor?
Yeah, it says another user is already actively using the Logix emulate. It's not letting me.
It says somebody's already using it.
Yeah.
So you got to go down to the bottom. You've already got it running.
No, I don't.
You don't.
Mm-mm. There you go. Finally popped up.
Okay, and let's see who else.
Clicked it too many times, man.
How about Justin? Do you have yours pulled up?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, so that's everybody that has the emulator. Now, listen. In slot, this is a PLC rack system right here that has slots in it. In slot 0, we have a communication module that's built in that's called RS Links. RS Links is going to be your connection with an RS Links driver to Studio 5000. Do y'all see my 5000 icon and in the emulator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Studio 5000 is where we're going to create the logic at. And then in Links up here, if you look up here, in Links, we're going to set up a driver that's going to be a virtual backplane driver. And we're going to download from Studio 5000 through Links through a virtual backplane to this virtual backplane in slot 0 in that communication module. Okay. Now, when it gets into here, now this that says factory talk links, that's a module that could be used if you had an HMI, which would be a touch screen. You know what the touch screens look like on the machine? If you had a touch screen in this application, then your touch screen or your HMI would be communicating in your emulator through factory talk links through slot 1. Okay. So right now we're not doing a HMI application. We're going to go from Studio through Links into slot 0, and we're going to have a controller in slot 2. So on slot 2, click it and then right click and say create. So you're going to add a controller in slot 2, and it's going to be an emulate 5570 controller. And down here, make sure it says slot 2. Do y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to hit OK. When you get to that point, let me know that everybody's there.
All right.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm there.
Okay. Is anybody not there?
I'm there.
Okay. If anybody's not, please speak up before I move on. Okay, great. So listen, the version of the emulator has to be the same version of Studio, which is going to be version 32. Now that's like a software version and also firmware. You know, in a controller, you've got what they call firmware, not software. As far as the operating system in a controller, it's called firmware. And PLCs have firmware in them, and the rev level of the firmware has to match the same software level of your PLC software over here. So 32 is it. Leave everything else the same, and give the controller a name. And I want you to put your name in there on all your projects. So I'm going to put D King. Let's see. For some reason, it's not letting me type. It's actually getting funky on me here.
Yeah, it's not letting me type either.
It's not letting me either.
Same.
Yeah,
Stop-
me
You
too.
gotta stop the video share.
That might be what it is. Something's hindering me here. I'm gonna turn the screen share off, and then let's see, is it gonna let everybody do that? And then I'll come right back.
No.
Nope.
So that's strange. Listen, let me go back and do screen share again. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go to hold on, just give me a minute, guys. Screen share. And back to now, do you see my emulator again?
Yes.
Just hit next. Hit next and move on. And don't change anything as far as the CPU number, because we don't have more than one. A CPU is going to be the same thing as a controller. Leave all that alone, hit finish.
Okay.
We're going to give it a name actually in your Studio 5000 project, and then we download it into that controller. So I've written several emulator programs, and I just did not remember that in here that I don't recall it not letting me put a name in there, but it did let us create the controller. So just let it be at that, okay? So does everybody see a controller in there with a green light?
Yes.
Yes.
Does anybody not see it? Okay. So now you want to leave that running and kind of drag it over there to the side like that, where you've got room to pull up your Studio 5000. So I'm just going to pull mine back up now, and I'm going to get out of the program out of that regular real physical program. I'm just going to close it. Now, when you turn on your Studio 5000, you hit that icon right there. Actually, let me close it and then reopen it so that you can see exactly. Close. Now I'm going to start where you're starting at right now. You hit do you see the globe there?
Yes.
So you turn it on, and listen, you're going to hit new project. Under create new project. Now these are physical PLCs that you could actually create programs for. Compact guard logics, compact logics, and then there's all kind of model numbers in there. And you're gonna, instead of you creating it for a real physical machine this time, which you will later, the first go around of each one of these logic functions, you want to come down to the bottom for Studio 5000 emulate controller and hit the arrow to open that up. Oh, wait a minute. When you hit the arrow to open up the 5000 emulate controller, then you get a 5570 controller. So hit that and then hit next. Or now give it a name. You got to give it a name now. Okay. It'll let you do a name now.
Hey, Durwood, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
It just finished uploading or something with the Studio 5000, and it's saying that I need to restart my computer now. So should I go ahead and do that now or later?
You can exit out and do it now, and that way you can catch up with us. Yeah, you can write your logic. You don't have your emulator downloaded yet, do you?
No.
Well, you can still write the logic. Yes, go ahead and exit out, and then come back into the session, and you can catch up with us.
All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I need to do that too, Durwood.
Mason, you got 100%?
Yes, sir. It says I need to restart it now.
Okay, good. Both of you guys exit out, come back in, and you can catch up with us. It won't take you but a minute.
All right.
Great. I'm happy. this whole thing seemed like I was upset when they told me that it had to be online. I mean, I actually almost got, I was pretty much what you call mad. Okay. They said, I told Barney, I said, look, man, we might as well not even run this class. I said, if we can't do it in person, why don't we just put the darn thing off so we can get back on campus? And you know what he said? He said, I don't think that's an option. I said, oh Lord. So then my wheels got to turning and I said, well, you know what? We got to accept the things we cannot change the things we can, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And had the wisdom to know the difference, right? So I'm sitting there between the rock and the hard place, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna look into this thing and see if we can get some decent simulation software. And I called Rockwell. Well, first of all, I had heard that there's some other companies that had some free software, and I felt bad about it. I said, man, I don't want that old cheesy stuff. I'm used to the real thing, I called Rockwell and they said, yes, sir. Your students can use whatever you want to use for 90 days for nothing. And I said, thank the Lord, thank God, so, that worked out great. These other companies were going to give us like 30 days or 45 days, not 90, You get 90 days for free with the best, not generic, but the best. Okay. So anyhow, you give it a name, and I'm going to say D King and Logic. So if you will, on all of your programs, put your name in there and then what the circuit is. And it's going to show you the default folder it's going to be in. So like on mine, it's going to be on the C drive, users, D King, documents, Studio 5000 folder, and then project folder. So if you ever want to know where they are, take you a snapshot of that so you can know where your projects are. Now, it's going to know where to go back and get them. It's going to know that. But if you lose track of where they are, that's where they are by default. And if you want them to be somewhere else, then you can browse and change that. So now you want to hit next. Is everybody right there where we are?
Yeah.
Is anybody not?
Yeah.
Is there anybody we need to wait for? Okay, so hit next. And now you're going to verify that it's going to be a revision 32 controller to match your 32 version software, and that the controller is going to be in slot number 2 in the rack over here in your emulator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's a 10 slot rack, 10 slot Control Logic chassis over here. And now you hit finish. Now hold back up, let's hit no. Now look, Nathan and Kenneth, in here you got security stuff that I have not even gotten into to really, this is your realm in here. You see that?
Yep.
I know you guys are concerned about how this here ties in outside the plant.
Right.
So that's going to be some stuff that we do need to get into, but right now at the moment, we don't particularly need to dig into that. But if whenever you did your download, if you chose to get the security, which I didn't really specify for you to do, then you would be using the security feature of the software and getting into some details in there that would provide security. Victor and McGill, let me ask you this. In your plant at Smithfield, you got some PLCs that nobody can get into, right?
Yeah. They're private network.
In other words, the company you bought them from, the only people that can get in them to troubleshoot is the company you bought it from, and they do it remotely, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's a thing I don't like about some of these new equipment that's coming in from overseas or wherever, is that they'll have a deal set up with the plant that says, we're going to sell you this $high machine, this slice and bacon slicer or whatever it is. But here's the deal, that if you get trouble, we're not going to give you access to get into PLC and see things. You've got to call us, and we're going to remote to it and troubleshoot it, and you got to pay us a contract, a service fee. So they've set up security in the PLC where nobody can get into it but them remotely. Is that right, Victor?
Yeah, that's right. Nobody can get into them.
Now, I think that's a horrible deal, and I'm going to tell you, if I was a plant manager, I would never agree to it, ever. I will tell that company, I said, well, you keep your machine, or you open it up for us, and when we buy it, it's ours, and if we need you, we'll call you. You know? That's what I'd be saying.
So if
But
you
I'm
put
telling
that
you, man,
security
these
feature
companies,
on
they,
there-
they try to have a monopoly on things, and it ain't good. Okay, it's not. I don't like it. It makes me mad, you know. So,
So Mr. Durwood,
it makes me mad. Who's that cartoon? It makes me mad. It was on Bugs Bunny. Somebody on there said that makes me mad. Anyhow, let's move on forward. You hit finish. And the project already exists, and you want to place it. Yeah. What it is, I had already wrote it, but I'm just going to write another one with the same name. All right, now, do y'all see that screen that I see there?
Yes.
Yes.
it's still loading.
Yeah, mine's still loading.
Still loading. Let me know when you see the same thing that I see. Y'all going to learn a lot. I thoroughly enjoyed the schools I went to. I was sent, when you go to one school for Rockwell to learn this stuff here for a 4-day portion of it, it's $1,350 for one person.
Mm.
And our college and Sandhills College, they split the bill for me to go. I went to Cary and I went to Greensboro and Charlotte. I went to 3 different schools and learned 3 different levels of this software. So I've been in it pretty deep, and it was a very, very enjoyable class, and I'm going to give you everything I can possibly give you in this amount of time. And I can also help you in between times, not particularly just during the sessions, but I can help you at other times. If you tell me when you got time for some tutoring or whatever, I can set up a Zoom session, and you can enter a Zoom session at other times other than these 2 nights. Like I work with Victor, and I work with Eric over the weekend, and you know, so hey, you know, again, you just speak up if you want extra help, and I will set up a Zoom session kind of whenever we can both kind of do it and help you. So does everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Now, in your controller organizer over here, this is showing your project name, and you got a controller tag folder, which is where all of your labels and your database is going to be in. And the projects in Studio 5000 have a format that's like this. At the top level of your project is called task. Now you can have, there are several kinds of tasks. You can have a continuous task, which has an arrow that points to the right. That means it just runs all the time. And then there are other types of tasks you can have that are periodic and event triggered. Now, you're given a continuous task, and under that, you're given a blank screen here called main program. So open up main program. And this is what you get when you create one and there's nothing in there yet. You get this basic setup for a controller. And then you want to go into main routine and double click it. And then you have a ladder editor that shows up. And when you get to that point, let me know.
Got it.
Yep. I'm there.
Is there anybody that doesn't have it?
All right, I'm good.
Okay, so do we still have like Nathan and Kenneth and everybody?
Yeah, Nathan, I'm there.
Okay, how about Victor?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Eric,
Yes.
McGill,
I kind of got, my connection kind of went out.
your connection with me or with the PLC software?
Nah, with Zoom, the whole thing just quit. I had to
Right.
restart everything.
Well, see, I'm noticing that your internet's kind of broken up a little bit. listen, how far are you from your router in your house?
Right behind me.
It's right behind you.
Yeah.
Listen, do you have an Ethernet? Do you have an Ethernet port on your computer?
Yeah.
You do? Can you hook up a hard connection to it and cut Wi-Fi off? If you can,
I don't know.
do you have an Ethernet cable?
I don't have one.
You don't have an Ethernet cable? But do you know what
No.
Ethernet cable is, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Get you an Ethernet cable, one that's long enough, or we can arrange and I can tell you about how to make one. Okay, Victor, can you help him on this?
Yeah.
He needs an Ethernet cable. Can you help him with that?
Yeah,
I can make one tomorrow.
Right, make you one. Listen, and you go into your laptop under your adapter settings, and you want to disable Wi-Fi. And when you plug your Ethernet cable in, then it's going to be hardwired in there. You're probably going to get a lot better. I hope you get a lot better signal in. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and continue. I'll get with you tomorrow about it.
Right. So is your software up running now?
Well, I was stuck on. I was still stuck on controller name.
Do a screen share. Let me see your screen, and we'll get you called up real quick.
All right.
Nathan, what do you think about all of this stuff we're trying to juggle at one time here, man?
Oh, I know it's a lot.
It's a lot.
I know. I understand exactly what you're talking about.
You what?
I understand exactly what you're talking about. But
Yep.
yeah, I had the same problem. But now I'm so used to doing this though that it wasn't a big change for me really.
Right. Yeah. I got used to it last
It's not
semester,
letting-
but it's getting better because I got a better connection and all, and I'm getting more used to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not letting me. I think because you're on it.
Okay, let me cut my screen. All right, now. So go ahead and do a screen share. All right, now hit next. You're going to give it a name. You're going to give it a name in Studio 5000. It's not going to let you do a name in there. Just hit finish.
Okay.
It failed to internal error. Go hit OK. Try it again. Yep, hit next. Failed to install emulator in that slot.
I think you've got to have that RS link highlighted. If you double click that RS link, it'll kind of connect that, I think. 'Cause I did that. See that first one, that 0, how it's not highlighted? Yeah, there you go.
I got my Studio 5000 up.
Yes.
Go ahead and turn that on.
And then that'll light up. And then try it. Try it now.
I didn't notice that, Jameson.
Well, that didn't work, did it?
Well, look, just hit OK. Let's try a different route here. Go up top to slot, and hit create module. And go under slot 2 here. Go at the bottom here where it says slot. Change it from 9 to 2. Hit OK. Right. Now, all right, hit OK. Now cut your emulator off and reboot it. Just X out. And now just turn it back on. Another user's already doing it, unavailable. So do you see an emulate icon at the bottom of your screen where you've already got it pulled up somewhere?
And Mr. Durwood, doesn't he have to have his RS logic downloaded? I mean the links.
You can set up your controller can be set up, so you got to set it up and tell it what kind of controller and what slot, so that when you go to download, that it has somewhere to download. You've already got it open.
Let me bring it up a while ago.
Huh? You've already got it open under another tab somewhere.
Okay, hold on.
And I'm not able to see the bottom of your screen, so I can't tell what's already open.
So, have we got to the point where we're doing the code or whatever for Studio 5000?
Yes, sir, you are.
So do I need to go under new project probably?
Go under new project and go all the way to the bottom to an emulate controller.
I don't have my emulator downloaded.
Right, it's okay. It doesn't matter. You can still create the logic. You just can't download it in the emulator yet.
Okay.
You can still write the logic. Somewhere it acts like, look, go to the bottom of your screen and right click on Task Manager.
He may end up having to restart the computer.
Right. If it's still running in there, it'll show up in Task Manager, and he can force it off and then cut it back on.
Yeah, but if it's not, then he might have to just restart.
Right. It looks like it's. It ain't running. So you're gonna have to look. You're gonna have to exit out and reboot the computer because it's really not running. It just thinks it is.
Okay.
It got confused. So reboot the computer and come on back in and holler when you get back in, and we'll get you called up. Okay.
All
right. Roger.
Yes, sir.
Do a screen share right quick and let's see where you are.
How do I do that again?
Bottom of the screen in the middle where it says green screen share.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Now click the little arrow to the left of your emulate controller. On down at the bottom of the page, the little arrow, open that up. Now hit 5570. And now give it a name. But put your name in there and say and logic. Say Roger and logic. And now just hit next, or go down below it. Not browse. No, it's just showing you where it's going to be. Go down and hit next at the bottom.
Oh, down here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine. Listen, tell it for slot number. Put it in slot 2. Because slot number, put it to 2. You've got a RS links module in slot 1, and you got a factory talk links in slot 1. So hit finish. Now it's gonna load up the logic software, and then you can start creating. Now it says you have not activated it yet. Now listen, let's go ahead and activate it. Hit OK there. When that comes up, let's go ahead and scoot over and activate it while I'm looking at your screen, and then we'll move forward.
How do I activate it?
I'm going to show you.
Oh.
Let it pull that screen up first, and then I'll show you how to activate it. the first night or two is going to be some of this going on, guys. If you just bear with me, and we are going to the things are going to pick up as we get everybody loaded, and it'll be worth it. It will. This is a great program, and it's the best thing that's out, man. It's the most newest thing that Rockwell's got, and any plant that's using Allen Bradley controllers, all of these engineering guys are using this software, so you're getting the best of the best of this. So go under Roger under. For right now, don't go any further. Let's activate your software before I forget it. So look, go down to the bottom left of your screen and hit start. Not in here, but on your Windows desktop.
Oh.
And now go down to Rockwell software on the left side of the screen, find Rockwell. Hold right there, open that up, and then hit the arrow. Now scroll down to Factory Talk Activation Manager. Those of you that haven't activated yet, this is what you're going to do. So go in there where it says Factory Talk Activation Manager New, double click. Now you only have to do this manually if you declined on activating it after your install. When you install, it asks you, do you want to activate? And if you said later, then you manually go in here and do it. So you go into find available activations. And you want to go under product, click under product. Hold on a second. Scroll. Let's move your screen up a little bit where I can see more. Hit get new activations. Get new. Now put the serial number and the product key in that I emailed you.
Okay.
And once you put it in, it's going to check with the Rockwell server through the internet and verify. Well, we know that. We know that. It just X that out. We know that. So click back behind you on the activation manager. Right now put it. What it is, it kind of interrupted you there to tell you what you already know. So,
And it's space or enter. Just this box.
and make sure everything's in all caps there. And by the way, the way Rockwell issued the serial numbers and product keys, the first time I contacted them, there were 16 people on the roster, and they sent me a set of serial numbers for 8 people and another set of serial numbers for 8 more people. I don't know why they had to do it in those groups. I guessed it. I think when it gets beyond 10, then they have to break it up. That's what it is. You can do 1 or 5, and I think 10 in those increments. So I had 16 people to begin with, so I got 2 sets of keys, and then 3 more students joined, so I got 3 more keys, and then 1 more student joined, and I got 1 more key. So here I'm sitting with a bunch of different keys, and I was sorting all that stuff out Saturday and getting all that out to y'all. And we had 20 students, and now we're down to 18. So you want to hit a validate activation at the bottom right. And then hit download activation. Listen, before you go any further. It's okay. But everybody listen real good. The previous screen to where it said how many activations, don't ever change it to more than 1. If you download more than 1 activation, you're going to be stealing one from somebody else that has not activated yet. And then I've got to figure out who downloaded more than 1 activation. And you're going to have to rehost activation back to them if you got more than 1 on your computer. Is everybody hearing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They all for each serial number. There's a set number of people that can use it, And if you accidentally, there's a dog kind of interrupting. Somebody can put a muzzle on that dog.
Hey, Durwood, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle, you can mute if you need to.
You can mute your microphone.
I was away from it though.
Right. You can mute that microphone or put a muzzle in Fido's mouth. All right, Roger.
Yes, sir.
If you will stretch that screen over that we can see the whole thing. Now, you see where it says binding number there? That's telling you what it's binding it to, like a hard drive on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Take a picture of that because we're going to need that if your computer fails, if it crashes. We need to be able to tell Rockwell that information about your computer so that if you're not able to rehost the activation to them to put it on another computer, then if you tell them that number, that's going to help the process if yours crashes. So take a picture of that with your phone and save it.
I just took a screenshot too.
Well, yeah, don't keep it just on the computer though, because if it crashes, then you're not going to have it. You know, put it.
I take a picture and I screenshot it.
There you go. Now I save it on all the computers on campus that I do because, again, if it crashes and you call them and say, look, this thing crashed, and they'll say, well, what was your hard drive disk number, or what was it bound to, you know? So that's going to help things if hopefully you won't have a crash. But anyway, so you're fine. So you've got activation now. So you can close your activation manager.
So just hit X.
Yep. So this will help folks that have it. Those of you that haven't activated yet, the recording, I'll put the recording in YouTube later tonight, and I'll put a link in Moodle.
So can I stop screen share now?
No. Go in now. Yeah, you can stop screen share. Yeah. Yep. So now I'm going to start screen share. And so does everybody, Roger, if you'll go under your main routine here and click until you get your ladder editor open, and let me know when you got that.
Said main routine.
Yeah, double click main routine, and when you see an open window like that, let me know. You have to hit the arrow over here, Roger, by main program, and then you see parameters and local tags, and then main routine. Double click on
main program. That's what it was.
Right. You hit the arrow to the left of it to expand it. You got to expand the main program.
Yeah, I was looking for main program.
Right. Yeah. This is there's a lot of very intricate software. You got to hit the right little spot to ever get into things. So, have you got your ladder editor open here?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so everybody there?
Yes.
Now you click over here on where it says line number or rung number 0. These are called rungs, like steps on the ladder or rungs. Ladder logic consists of rails, power rails. Let me move up so I can talk while I'm doing this. So ladder logic is like this. You have rails on the sides, and the one on the left is going to be for power, like 120 volt, for instance, or whatever it is. And on your left, it's going to be the power rail, and then on your right, it's going to be the neutral rail. If it was going to be a regular hardwired schematic, a real motor control physical circuit. So the circuit runs left to right. And now, so here, you want to go up on your toolbar and choose one of the contacts up here. And one of them that looks like normally open is called examine on. So click examine on. It's going to put that contact on your first line. And mine is like really small. So you can go up in here in the magnifier and plus and keep clicking that until it gets like large. You see how it does that? So you can enlarge that screen by hitting that plus symbol here. Zoom in or zoom out. I can make it a little smaller if I want to. Okay, so is everybody there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now, so where the question mark is, right click on the question mark and hit new tag. And if you see that, then say yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Does it add new lettering on it?
No, sir. Create tag. Look, I'm gonna X out. Right click on the question mark. New tag up top.
Oh. I'm sorry.
All right. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Now your devices, your addresses, and all of your labeling and all is going to be in a tags-based system in Studio 5000. So you can have all of your tags or database in an area called controller tags over here to the left. If you use them in controller tags, they're called controller scoped. So if you see under scope, if you want them to be scoped only for the main program down there, do you see my mouse moving around down there?
Mhm. Yep.
If you want the scope or the availability of the tags to be only for the main program, then look at here. They're going to be over here where it says parameters and local tags. You see where my mouse is? Under main program, you see on the left where I'm moving my mouse at?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Under main program, you have a local tags folder for that main program only. So the scope of the tag would be how available are the tags? Are they available to that one routine, or are they available to the entire controller for other routines also? So if you wanted them to be controller scope available to the entire controller for multiple routines, you go under the scope here, look, and you say under deking and logic, and it actually makes them available up here to the entire controller in the tag folder up top there. So the decision is yours. If you're only going to have one routine on this machine, there's no point in having you don't have to put them in controller tags, or you can actually choose. It doesn't matter. You can put them in controller tags and they be controller scoped. And then later on, if you add other routines in there for other sections of a machine, let's say I got a machine. Victor, tell me on one of your machines your different sections of the machine.
On Smithfield.
Uh-huh.
There's like you said, your main routine, like safeties. If you got servos, with the axis of the servos, there's a wide variety of stuff that's in there.
Right. I mean, like sections of a machine, like slicer, package. I mean, different things, physically parts of the machine.
Well, a quick one will be a water jet. It's got at the beginning of the entrance, it's got a photo eye to tell the camera that the belly is going through. So the camera scans the density, and it gives information to the servo motors. So once it passes that camera vision, there's 6 servo motors that cut the specifications of it. And then at the end, it's just another photo eye telling it that it's leaving. And then after that, it gets weight. And then after it gets weight, there's different parameters of groups where the bellies go through. And there's like 10 kickers. Everything communicates within each other.
Okay. So kind of what I'm saying is this, without getting too deep right now, where you have the main program right here, and under main routine, you can have other routines in there. You can go in there and right click on, well, we're not going to get into that. If I X that out, if I go under main routine and I say, let's see, under Main routine. You see where it says add a routine?
Mhm.
Now, if I go into there and I say safety circuit, for instance, and I hit OK, then look at here. Then I've got a main routine here, and then I've got a safety circuit routine here. You see that?
Yeah.
So you have different, different routines that can be under there. And you can also have other programs. So you can have under main task, you can say add another program. And let's just say weigh scale. I go into there, and now it has, listen, now this is an illustration of what I'm saying as far as tags. Now, the tags that you create, the labeling you create for your elements in here, if you let them be program scoped, like in here under local tags, whatever you create in that routine up here would only be in that folder, and those tags would not be available for the weigh scale. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
For the weigh scale, when it's another program in on the same controller, it's got its own tags folder. Okay, it's got its own. I shouldn't have done that. Go back out. But what I'm saying, if you have multiple sections on a machine with separate programs, if you want your tag folders to be separate, then you keep them in the local tags with that program only. If you want to share tags with the entire controller, you want to store them under controller tags, and then they're available to every routine and every program in that controller. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So let's go back to the main routine. Let's just get rid of I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna get rid of weigh scale. So the point is, and when you right click on the question mark for new tag, the default location for this tag is going to be in your tag folder for main program right here. That's where they're going to be by default. Let's just leave that alone. But you have the option of making them controller scoped, that they can be used by other programs if you choose to. Okay, if you choose to. Now, let's give it a name. Let's call it Safety Gate Limit Switch 1. Safety Gate. You can say LS1 or you can spell the word Limit Switch 1. And that's going to be your tag name. And listen good here. Since we're doing this in the emulator and we're going to do it internal in the controller, we're not going to have real physical I/O. Okay, we're not going to have real physical inputs and real physical outputs. So this tag is going to be called a base tag. Now, if this tag was going to be a real physical input on a switch, then listen, look at here. You'd have to go in there and call it an alias. And you would say that this name is an alias tag for what? And you'd have to go out and find real inputs, physical inputs that you could tag that alias name to. Okay? But in an emulator, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to emulate the program with a base tag. You leave it as a base tag, and what base tag means is this. This is internal data in the PLC that's not related to real world devices, okay? It's an internal tag, a base tag in the controller. That's just in the controller and not really tied to the real world, okay? Now, once you create the program and run it in the emulator, then I'm going to ask you to put some, later, at another time, I ask you to put some real physical, to create it from my PLC that's here. You go back and recreate it and put some real input addresses in there. And when you put real I/O addresses in there, then you can save it. You email me the program and I can put it in the controller and show you it run, okay? So anyway, move forward here. Look, you got Safety Gate Limit Switch 1. and hit create. All right, does everybody have that?
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
with that highlighted, go ahead and choose another examine on contact and right click and create new tag, and we're going to call it safety gate 2. So safety gate limit switch
Examine on
2, and you leave all of that information the same. It's going to be a base tag built into the controller. Hit create. And then you're going to also go in there and do the same thing. You choose another examine on instruction, right click, new tag, and we're going to say safety gate number 3. Safety gate limit switch number 3, and create. And then after that, we're going to put an output instruction for the master control relay. So these are input instructions called examine on. They look like normally open. Go up here and hover over the brackets and it says output energize. So you choose output energize. And if you notice, it's kind of doing a wrap around here because I got everything so large. So if you zoom out with a magnifier, then it lets everything be back on one line again. So if I go up, let's go over. Now for that one, right click on that and hit new tag, and let's say master control relay. And what the master control relay does on the machine is this, is if it's not made, that machine cannot cycle. So if you open up any of the gate doors around the machine, it's going to knock out the master control relay. It's going to stop the machine from cycling, so that if the operator just happens in haste, he goes in there, opens up a door, and he doesn't kill the power, it's going to knock it out for him, okay? So you go into there and you say master control relay and hit create. And then if everything's too big again, like it is on mine, zoom out. And when you get to that point, then you want to save it. Let's go over. So you'll hit, you're going to hit your save icon over here. Okay. And zoom out again. Now, when you get to that point to save it, if you'll let me know.
Yep.
Yeah,
How'd you add the extra like switches there? I didn't see.
Do a screen share. I'm going to stop screen share. Let me see your screen there, Roger.
Let's see.
Tag.
This right here. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to.
Go back up to the toolbar and choose another examine on. Over there to the right. Keep going to the right. Right there. Click.
Oh, that's what I did. Okay, got you.
Right, and then right click on the question mark and then new tag.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. We are blessed to be able to do this screen share stuff. I'm telling you, man, if it weren't for this, I would be so upset, man. I would be upsot. Not upset, but upsot. I'm telling you, I was upset when they said you know you can't do it in person. You got to do it remote. And I said, what? And they said, Barney said, he said, well, these other schools that are doing it completely online, they ain't doing nothing in person. And I said, oh man. You know, I said, well, then you find out that we can do some things that we don't think we can do, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. You're going to learn more about the software doing it this way than you would on campus. You would learn a lot on campus about it, but it would be a balance between the software and the physical part. at least with this part, you're gonna go further, way further software wise. And my plan is this: is that you create logic in the emulator, and then you run it. I'm going to see you guys run your emulating program, and then those physical addresses that I gave you here, and that controller name that's up there, I'm going to have you create a program for that controller using these real IO addresses. You're going to save that program and email it to me. I'm going to put it in the controller. You're going to see your program run on a real PLC with the webcam. So that's a way that you can still see the physical aspect of what's going on, of what you create. So we could get you pretty close to it. So let me turn my screen share back on. So how about Mason? Are you where we are now?
No. It's not. Every time I try to restart, yeah, I can't even open up where you are. I can open up the emulator.
Okay, listen, do a screen share. Let me see where you are, Mason. If anybody is not caught up with us, please say something and we'll get you caught up.
I rebooted everything, Durwood.
So for the last tag, is it the same one?
I have the emulator right here, and I can pull it up. Or I could. And there it goes.
Right, you got your controller in there. I see that.
Yeah, I did that earlier, but I don't have anything for
Studio 5000.
And every
Well,
time
you've already done. Okay. Look, click on your folder up top there, where the top one, and go down to the bottom, and there'll be a setup file.
Yeah, I've done that like 3 times now.
Did it install?
It says it did, and it keeps telling me I need to restart, and then I'll be ready to.
Wait a minute. Listen, you don't need to do this again. Hit X out of that, Mason. X out of that. You've already done it.
All right.
X out of that.
Okay.
Close that whole screen. Now hit your start menu at the very bottom left. And now go down to Rockwell. And now open that up. Hit the arrow. Hit where the arrow is. Okay, now go down to Studio 5000. Now, hold on a minute. I should have told you something. X that out. X that out. Now watch. Everybody watch what we're getting ready to do. If you don't have Studio 5000 on your desktop, here's how you do it. Go back in there, Mason, and locate that again. Watch real closely. You got to go in your programs where it actually installed it to. Open up Rockwell software. Scroll down to Studio 5000. And now listen. Hold. Don't click it. No, I wouldn't want to do that. I want you to put your mouse on it, hold the mouse on it, and drag that icon out to your desktop and then let it go. We're going to drag and drop the icon so that it's going to be on your desktop. So click it, hold it in, and then drag it out, and now let go. Now go back in there. No, don't click it now. Go back in the same spot. We got to get RS links and drag it out to the desktop also. Right. You want to have RS links in there as well. Now drag it out there also. You want to hold it and drag it and then let go. There you go. Now get your, okay, so you're set. You got you might want to bring them down there or get them near your emulator or however you want them, wherever you want them at. Just kind of get them arranged how you want to. Now you're set, Mason. Now you can double click your studio. New project. Yeah. Hit
Logic.
Logics. Yep, that's it. And now go all the way down to the bottom where the emulator is. And then now hit the, yeah, that's it, the 5570. And now put a name in there. Say Mason and Logic.
Mason and Logic.
Mason and then spacebar. And then capital AND, and, like for and Logic.
That it?
You can
I have a
put,
quick.
after that, hit spacebar and say Logic. Right, and this is
I have a question, Mr. Durwood.
Now hit next. Okay, yeah,
That I don't. Do I have to bring over that icon for the RS Logic Classic, or is it a backup, or because I've noticed that I don't have that. I don't have that.
What the links, RS links?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to drag it out there like he just did. They don't put it out there automatic.
Is it the Classic?
RS Links Classic, and you want to just click and hold and drag it out and then let go of it on the desktop. Now, Mason, go under slot number and put slot number 2. That's good, and hit finish. Now it's gonna, when it brings up your controller organizer, then you can go into there. It takes a while. It's a pretty big program.
Mm-hmm.
Now go under main program and hit the little arrow, the little triangle to the left of it, open that up, and then double click main routine. Now click on run 0 where the X is, to the left. Way down here where the red X mark is, click that.
This?
Right. Now you can start writing logic. Now go up there and get your examine on contact on the toolbar. Yep, hit it.
It won't let me hit it.
Click it again. All right, go back down and go over to where it says 0, left of that X. Click in there. Now not 2 times, but 1 time. Now it's in the blue. Now you're good now. That's it. Yeah. And now you can, if you want to make everything larger, you can magnify with that plus symbol over there. That's good. Now right click on your question marks and then do what we just did. You got to move up higher.
Up higher.
Right click, new tag.
Mm.
And go up top under tag name and put safety gate limit switch 1.
At name?
At name, yeah. Back up, get rid of question mark. Safety gate limit switch 1. And hit create. Now proceed with that. Go up and get another examine on instruction up top, another like normally open. Click it again. And go ahead and do switch 2 and 3. New tag. Yep. And this is going to be safety gate number 2. Yep. Once we get this done and we save it, then we're going to go in RS Links to set up the driver, a emulate driver, a virtual backplane driver that's going to send it. It'll bring a connection between this software and the emulator and let you download it into the emulator, and then you go to the emulator, then you can just run it. So you're getting ready to be able to run things pretty soon here.
And then we do a master.
Then you want to go up top where it says output energized. It's got a picture of like brackets.
Brackets.
Nope. Go up top.
It's where you're at,
right.
but third one over.
On your toolbar, over one more.
More.
Output energized. That's it. Now, by where it did a wrap right there, you can go and hit zoom out. Now you're good now. Yep, and that's going to be your master control relay.
Hey, Durwood, I got a question about this.
Okay.
I accidentally used the wrong kind of bracket there, and I hit back, and I tried putting the same tag in the new one, and it said that it was already used, even though I deleted it. It ain't letting me put it.
You can zoom out, Mason, if you want to, since you've got everything a little larger. That's good right there. Now go up and hit save, the little blue save icon.
Save icon.
Right, save. And everything's fine. There was no errors, no warnings. You're good. So
right.
so now you can just you can minimize that screen, Mason.
What, this screen?
You can just minimize. Hit the minus sign.
Well, the whole thing.
Yeah, you can minimize that screen.
Okay.
Now, well, what was we're going to go into links now and set up your communication driver.
Okay.
Now, what was your question, Roger?
I messed up and put down the wrong
output instruction.
No, it's the wrong tag or whatever.
The wrong tag.
And it was one of the gates or something. I put down the wrong thing, and I'd put in the tag, and then I'd hit the back button to delete it, and I put the correct one in and put the same tag in, and it's saying that it's already taken.
Do a screen share real quick. Let's flip over. If you can cut your screen share off, Mason, just for a second. Let's see what you got, Roger.
Yeah. I've done this, and I hit create, and that pops up.
Okay, well, listen, hit OK. And then X out of that. All right, listen, everybody. If you got a tag that's already created, that's already in your tag folder, then listen, instead of you right-clicking on that question mark up there on the right, don't right-click it, but left-click it. And there'll be an arrow. Now do the drop down now. And now you scroll to it and click it. And hit enter.
Okay, gotcha.
And hit enter again. So now here's what some programmers do. Listen, guys, what some programmers do is they go into their tag folder and they actually go in and manually create all these tags. And then they do what he just did. They left click the instruction and they go into their tags and actually click that tag after they've already created a whole list of tags. So I happen to like to create them kind of as I go when I add logic elements in there. My preference is to right click and do new tag for everything. Unless you're going to do a massive program and in some cases there's a reason for doing all that up front. If you've got a list of all of your inputs and outputs and you want to go in and actually just do it manually in the tag folder, you can do it that way and then simply left click on the instruction and then go through and select that tag. So now I'm going to do my screen share. So is everybody up to that point there and that they've actually done a save?
Yep.
I have it, Mr. Durwood.
You have
Yes.
it? Okay, do a screen share, McGill, and let's see what you got. Let's see where you are.
No, I haven't even done that studio. It hasn't even let me do that.
Let's see where you're at. Let's find out where are you. You've already set the emulator up, right? Okay, you haven't set right. Go under slot 2 and right click and add a controller. That's good. That's fine. Yep.
I think you need to change from CPO 0 to CPU 1.
Mhm.
Right click again.
All right there. Now hit finish.
I didn't even change mine at all. I didn't have to do that.
I don't know. Mine it made me change to CPU 1.
All right, back up, McGill. Go. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, reopen it. Go into that second slot again. Create. And that's fine there. Hit OK. And let's compare that to anything. Let's compare it to ours. So yours says 32 memory size. You didn't change any of that, did you?
No.
Now
No,
hit
sir.
next. That looks just like mine. I don't see anything wrong there. Let me cut your screen share off. Let me go check mine. And let's go back to mine. Yeah, cut your screen share off.
Top middle of your screen.
Okay, let me go check mine. So do you see mine?
Yep.
Mine is CPU 0 and the continuous task dwell time 10 milliseconds. So all of that's the same as yours.
Yeah.
That's all the same as yours. Now I'm gonna hit stop share. Now share yours again. We're gonna figure this out. There's a little something off. Now go up top where it says slot. Create module. Hit OK. And hit next. Hit finish. Internal error. All right, hit OK. Right click on slot 2. Yeah, you don't get a chance to actually delete it. Just for the heck of it, McGill, let's just try something here. Hit cancel. Well, actually, go under slot 3 and try to put it in there. I just want to try something just to be. I don't know why we're having to do this. Hit OK. Next. Finish. Okay, so no matter where you put it at, there's something wrong. Something's wrong. Go under slot. Hit remove module. And hit go under 2. And hit OK. It's not occupied. So it does it. There's nothing in there. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything in there. So you can't remove it if there's nothing in there. I was just wondering, there's something left over in there, something corrupted maybe. Go under view. And go over to options. hit clear. No. You then go under all modules. Restore. And under help, go to help. No. This is unusual. My only thing I would be thinking right now, McGill, is that we would need to actually do another install of your emulator. Because I think that maybe when it installed that something didn't get installed right is what I'm guessing. So
If
let's
you want me to go set up.
Yeah, go in. Go ahead and do that and let it reinstall. Because I'm telling you, all
Okay.
it takes is for one little itty bitty thing to go wrong on a setup, man, and it's. I think somebody I was helping the other day had to actually had
It
to
was
actually.
me.
Was that with
It
you,
was me,
Eric?
It was me, Durwood. Yeah. Remember we had to redo it again?
Okay. Yeah. Yours was actually missing a couple of files.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah.
It was messing up the setup EXE and all that.
Yeah, he had a couple of files missing. So McGill, do a screen share and let's let you. Let's make sure that you're getting your. I want to see you begin that setup again.
Okay.
And tomorrow, get with Victor about getting you an Ethernet cable. See if we can get you speeded up some. Get you a little bit clearer.
Has it sped up anything?
No, don't go in there. You got to go back in your RA folder and downloads.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it. You have to do it from the RA folder. Go under downloads. Wait a minute. So where's your RA folder at?
Oh no, my wife did all this, man.
Well, see, under downloads is where it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have a Rockwell automation, the RA folder somewhere. Try PLC class, and maybe she put it in there. There, yes, she put it in there. Yep, go in there. Go into emulate, yep. You know, I wonder, man, let's scroll on down. Now click your setup, right, double click that. Now, once it starts, you hit customize, but don't customize anything. Don't listen. What it's telling you right there is wait a minute. What's it saying? Hover your mouse over the warning over the yellow thing. What is it saying? A newer version is already installed. And then go down again. A newer version is already installed for Logix. Don't click any of that.
That one Logic Emulate said something about unable to look. Go back over that one again. Yes, it says unable to install this version.
Hold on. Unable to upgrade the Logix. I'm wondering what version got. Listen, man, I'm wondering did she download some other version other than 32?
Oh no. I was driving. She was downloading it. She was watching the video, that YouTube video you put.
It says it's unable to install this version. Unable to upgrade. Unable to upgrade. All right, hit your back button. and go under customize. And you're not going to be able to get any further than this. So I think what we're going to have to do is actually uninstall this and then reinstall it. Because something didn't go right on the install.
Could have been he didn't install the correct version.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, because if your wife was doing it, we don't really know what went on. Just X out of that, or just hit back. Yeah. Yep. So what I would do, my best guess at this point, so that you can actually have it. My first thing, instead of me calling Rockwell about this right now, and I can't call them at night anyway, you go back, get back on the internet to your download place on the internet. Wait a minute, hold on. Close all this here out, McGill. Now, open up your emulator. Let's see what version you've got, because we can tell the version number from in there. So go under help and about, hit that. That's version 32. It is version 32. But something's wrong with it. Something's wrong with it, McGill. So best thing I can figure, let's uninstall emulator, uninstall it, and then you just download it back again from Rockwell. So go under, hit your bottom left screen icon for start. Nathan, you got any other ideas? I think it just needs to be uninstalled and then reinstalled, my best guess.
Yeah, I would think so too.
So you need to go under control panel. I'm sorry. You need to go under search for control panel.
For my settings?
No, you're gonna have to actually hit your start button at the bottom left. And then if you got a search window down there, hit somewhere if you can see. Oh, move all this stuff up in your screen, McGill, if you can. Can you move the whole window up? Yeah, I can't really see the bottom. I can't really see the bottom of your screen. You need to hit your start button at the bottom left. And somewhere down in there, you should be able to actually start typing in control panel. Yeah, now click control panel. Now to go under uninstall program. And hit uninstall program. Right? Yep. And now go down and find the emulator, Rockwell. The emulate down, the Studio 32 emulator. Right there, click that. And then you want to click where, if you see somewhere to hit uninstall. Yeah, uninstall, yeah, that's it. Hit, yeah. So we're gonna, listen, don't worry about this, because listen, let me ask you this. Did you say that you were driving when she was doing this?
Yeah.
You were going down
the highway. We had to go somewhere.
You were going down the highway trying to download this on the internet?
My hotspot.
Now that could have been an issue.
It downloaded pretty quick. I mean, it downloaded pretty quick.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a chance if you get one little bit, you get one little binary bit off on that thing. If something doesn't come down just right, it's not going to run, you know? So by you being not traveling and not depending on, unable to complete the uninstall, you must shut the emulator down, and then links must be shut down. So back out of that and cut your emulator off and cut links off. Look at it going in backwards. I've never seen that. Oh God. Yeah. Oh Lord. This is no laughing matter, but that looked funny when it going back like that. I've never seen anything do that.
I tried to do that.
Durwood, you want me to be uninstalling it on my other computer while we're doing this?
Where are you at now?
This is Jamie.
Yeah. What are you?
Well, I got the new computer, so I need to uninstall it from the old computer, correct?
What?
Where I downloaded it.
Well, listen, since you downloaded it but you never activated it, don't worry about it. If you never activated it, then you have it. Your activation is not really present on your computer. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you just go ahead and download it on that new one, and the point at which your activation is really on your is tied to your hard drive. It's after it's installed and you activate. That's when it binds to your hard drive. Then
I'm not real sure how far the IT guy got with it.
What was your new one?
No, with the old one.
So you don't know whether he actually
I really don't know if he got that far with it or not.
Unable to listen. You got to shut links off, McGill. RS links are still running.
Yeah, I don't have it up.
Yeah, it's running. No, don't reopen it. Listen, on the bottom of your screen, there's going to be a RS links icon, and you got to right click it. You got to find there's a link down at the bottom that shows RS links. Close that window. That was the emulator. Now you got to find, close that one. Hey, you know what I just saw, McGill? Hey, you had that emulator open to several times, man. Look. It looks to me like what you got going on here is you had that thing opened up multiple times. And that may be why it didn't run. So it looks like it actually finished the uninstall, didn't it? I think it did.
No, I think it went back.
All right, go back in there again and see is it still there?
Yeah.
It's still there. Now listen, just for the heck of it, let's try to run it again, McGill, because look, I think you had that thing opened up a couple of times, man.
You want to try to run it?
Say no, don't uninstall. Say no. Before we do that, go back and try to run it again. If you had it opened up a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, that might be what was stopping it. So yeah, right click, see if you can add a module. No, it won't. You're going to need to uninstall it. So go back to where you were and make sure that you don't see a RS links icon at the bottom of your screen nowhere. Now, I can't see the bottom bar, but you hover your mouse over all your icons and make sure none of them say RS links. Don't X out of Zoom. Don't cut that off. No. Hit cancel. or are you going to lose me? But the RS links icon looks like a chain link. Look here. It looks like two chain links together.
Yeah, I don't see it down here.
Now, so that means you're
On the
probably
bottom.
okay. Now go ahead back to your uninstall page and uninstall. Yeah, control panel. Yeah. Uninstall. Yeah. Emulate. Yep, that one right there. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Your RS links are still running. Listen, it's
I
still
try
running.
to do all that.
Hit cancel. Close that screen out or minimize that screen. Hit your minus sign and minimize that screen. Now go to the bottom of the bottom of your screen in a blank area and right click and hit Task Manager. And let's see, does it show RS links running? It's not showing it running.
And I rebooted it a while ago when you asked me to, and I rebooted it, and I tried to bring it up again, and I tried to run the studio with the Zoom not on and everything. It still wouldn't let me. And I tried to uninstall it a while ago too, but it did the same thing. It wasn't letting me uninstall it. Like before I got on with you or with y'all, I tried to uninstall the studio, the emulator, and it did the same thing. It wasn't letting me uninstall.
We got to cut. RS links have to be cut off. Click on links. Click it on. It's already running as a service. To view or change it, the service must be stopped. Stopping the service will stop and hit stop service. All right, now try to uninstall. Normally when links is running at the very bottom, somewhere on there'll be an icon of that yellow chain link that's going to be down there. And when you hover over it, it'll give you an option to close it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it says it's starting. We don't want to start it. We don't want to start it. We'll wait for it to come up and then close it. You know, you want to hit your start menu and go under control panel. Right. We want that off. Yeah. Now lower left hits. There you go. Yep.
Durwood.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna let you know Darren was over here with us, or with me.
Okay. Darren, are you going to put that software on your computer? Justin, have you put it on your computer?
We're working on it. I was still working on it.
Okay, good. Yep, you got. I sent you a serial number and a product key, Darren, to put it on your computer too. What version of Windows do you have, Darren? Do you have Windows 10 or some other version?
I think it's Windows 10. I ain't bad
You need to get Justin to help you get it downloaded because you're going to need it on your computer so you can work individually. It's going to be hard for y'all to work on the same computer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I got it. I'm working on that. That's what we're working on. We're trying to get everything downloaded.
Good, great.
Yeah.
Access is denied.
Did it? It took it off.
It took it off. Yeah. So what you want to do now is go back to the Rockwell site and just download it again.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do that. I mean,
do that, and we're going to move forward with everybody else and let them run their emulator.
Okay.
If you want to watch us do it, that's fine, and then you can you can re-download after. If you want, it's up to you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cut your screen share off. That way you can see what we're doing.
Okay.
All right. So I don't mean to hold everybody up. We're going to bring it to a close here. So let's see. Let's go down. Okay. So does everybody that's still in got this up here?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
How many people are still in?
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm in.
Froze up and locked me out. I need to restart.
How much are we gonna be on here?
Just enough to run this one program.
Okay.
I want to see how many people still in. We still got 11 people in. Is anybody having trouble getting to where we are?
Yeah, I haven't downloaded the other thing yet.
Right. You haven't downloaded the emulator, right?
Yeah, I haven't downloaded that yet.
But
you're
watching. You're just watching, so you see what to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. Is it okay to move on now? Everybody okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
So now you got that program and you've hit save. And now I'm going to minimize, or I'm just going to bring this down here like that and open up links, RS Links Classic. Now, what this is this is where all of your communication drivers are. And there are different drivers for different communication paths. Like if you're going to be going from a laptop to a PLC with an Ethernet cable, you got an Ethernet driver. If you're going to use a serial driver, you got a serial cable, you got a serial driver. Now here, so do you see that screen there? Yep. Now go under configure drivers where it looks like a picture of a cable. And I have an Ethernet driver running right now. And you go under available driver types. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys.
RS class. RS.
Okay. Okay, now, so next step is if you were going to be using an Ethernet driver, it would be Ethernet IP driver. If you were going to be going through an Ethernet cable to a PLC, that's the driver to use. If it was an older serial cable, it would be RS-232 driver. Now, for us, it's going to be a virtual backplane driver right there. So you choose virtual backplane driver. Now, actually, I already had mine. Let me actually delete mine. And I'm going to leave the Ethernet running now. So when you don't have it running yet and you choose virtual backplane, you say add new. That's the default name for the driver. It's called ABVBP1. That is the driver that can communicate from Studio 5000 into the emulator into slot 0. You see where I'm at over here? I'm waving over slot 0, that links module.
Yep.
So this driver is what lets Studio 5000 connect into slot 0 in that virtual backplane. So you say, okay, that's the default name for the driver. Hit OK. And it's in slot number 0 is where the module is, and that's true, so hit OK. And then if yours says running, give me a sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So now you can hit close. And now go under who active here. RS who. And let's open up that virtual backplane driver and see, does it see your controller? So when you expand the driver, it should show your workstation, which is your laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And then it should show the emulate controller in slot 2. Does everybody see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Does
see it.
anybody not see that?
Hold on.
So this is showing you what the
Okay.
driver sees. And it verifies that the driver is installed correctly, and it sees the emulator as if it was a physical machine that you can download too. Does anybody need help with this?
Mm-mm.
No. I heard somebody say, "Hold on a minute," or is everybody okay now?
I got it. I got it now.
You got it? Now,
Yes, sir.
so this is evidence from RS Links. Now, listen, RS Links is kind of like this. You see my cell phone right there? Now, I'm with Verizon. Verizon is my RS Links, okay? So when I use my phone and I talk to people, it's me talking, but I'm talking through Verizon, right? But when you talk to your PLC or your virtual PLC, you're talking, Studio 5000 is talking. It's going to send a program, logic program, over to your virtual PLC through Links. Links is nothing but the carrier like Verizon or US Cellular. Everybody got that?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So it's a carrier up. It lets you download. It lets you monitor. And on a real PLC, it lets you view what's happening on the machine. It lets you download. It lets you upload. It lets you monitor in real time what the PLC is doing and all of that. So that it's your it's your carrier. It's like a cell phone company. Okay. Now, so that's good. So now you can you can minimize all that, and then bring Studio back up here, and now go under communications. Under communications, you're going to hit who active. And when you hit who active, then you want to expand the virtual backplane driver, and then it sees your emulator in slot 2. You want to click it one time. And then when you click it, you're pointing to the controller, and then you have an option to download or upload or go online. Just hit go download. And you'll get a warning there. Unexpected hazardous motion of machinery may occur. So anytime you're in a real plant and you're doing this, there's always that hazard of a cylinder moving, of a cutter, a chopper coming down, or anything happening that motion-wise. Don't have anybody around when you do a download, because these things control real moving things, motion devices, motor controllers, drives, servos, And now, if you see this, give me a sign. And up here where it says remote program, that's in a blue. You want to change it. You're actually in program mode right now, which it won't actually run until you change it over in there to run mode. And it says, do you want to go in run mode? And you say, yeah. So if you see a green sign for remote run, is everybody got that?
Yep.
Not yet.
You go under where it said remote program, and you do the drop down. You can be in program or run or test mode. So you want to be in run. You got it now? Who is that don't have it?
I don't have it.
What do you have?
It's still finally just got done downloading. All right, it did download.
Huh?
It did download.
It did?
Yeah.
All right, now you want to go up there to where it said, does yours say up at the top left, does it say remote program? RIM program?
Hold on.
Where I'm pointing that up in here?
Okay. Yes.
You hit that arrow and go to run.
All right, got it.
All right, now, so you got a green light up there for remote run.
It says change controller mode to remote run.
That's right, yep.
All right, got it. Got the green light.
All right, hold on. Okay. Night, love you. Love you too. Kind of a cramped area back here where I'm at. I had to get up and make room for my mother to get through. So, okay. So now here's what you can do to actually turn these switches on, being that you don't have a real devices coming in. You right click and you actually hit toggle bit. So when you toggle the bit, it actually turns it on. It goes green. You see it?
Yep.
So with gate number 1 closed, you don't have the master control relay, right? Now, right click on number 2 and hit toggle. It goes green. You still ain't got no master control relay. Now, when you right click and you toggle number 3, bam, then all of a sudden you have your master control relay. You see that?
Yep.
Now,
Got it.
huh? What was that?
Yeah.
Now go in there and say right click and toggle off number 2. When you toggle number 2 off, what happened to your master control relay?
Went
It
off.
cut off.
It went off. Now toggle it back on. And you got your master control, right?
Yes, sir.
Now somebody goes and the operator, the machine jams up at the front of the machine, and they got to go in door number 1 and unjam it. So they go in there and they open the door, you toggle, bam, he opens that door and he loses control power, so it shuts off. You see that?
Yes, sir.
So by toggling bits like that, a bit is like a single binary digit. You can toggle those bits in the emulator and it simulates a physical input coming in, a real thing that's triggering the input. That makes sense?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Is everybody's doing this?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see how many people are still in here. So is Justin, is yours doing it?
Yes.
How about Mason?
Yep.
Victor?
Yep. I'm still doing. I'm still here.
And Benjamin, you said yours is Victor?
Yeah.
Done.
Benjamin, are you still downloading?
Yes, sir.
What percentage yours at right now?
It's at 35.
Okay, so you're watching what we're doing, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it making sense what we're doing?
Yeah, I'm getting the main idea of it.
Great. Well, see, the good thing is we're recording this. When it's all over with, when it finalizes on my hard drive, then I'm going to upload it to YouTube tonight. That'll take a while, and after that happens, then I'm going to put a link in Moodle. So if you will, whenever you look at the videos, if you'll get to them through Moodle, well, I'll say this: if you didn't participate in the class tonight, let's say if you missed tonight altogether, and you want to get credit for doing a makeup, don't go straight to YouTube looking for it. You'll find it. It'll be in there. It's going to be a public thing. Anybody can see it that wants to. But if you miss a night and you want it on record that you made it up, you go into Moodle and you access the YouTube link. You launch it from Moodle, and then it's going to have a record that you did watch it that I'll see. if you'll do that. But being that you were here tonight, you can just go straight to YouTube and search my name, and you can see it. But you're going to have to search through a lot of stuff, so it's actually going to be faster if you get it through Moodle, okay?
Yeah,
You won't
I'll
have
just
to
do
be
that
kind of
instead.
looking for it. I got a bunch of different videos on there, and you're actually better off to go through Moodle anyhow and just go straight to the right one, you know? Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so who wants to do a screen share and let me see your emulator run?
All right, I'll get it.
Okay.
Disappear.
Can you make it larger?
Yeah, I'm on. How big you want it?
Right, and hit your plus symbol over there too. If you want to magnify some, make it larger.
You need it larger?
There you go. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah. All right, now toggle on number 1. There you go. Now toggle off 2. Then you lose it, and then you toggle 2 back on, toggle 3 off. There you go. So that's giving you the same effect as you had on the real PLC that I've got here, you know? So somebody else want to share theirs?
Yeah, let me do mine because, you know, I got to get going soon.
Right.
They're going to
Yeah,
kick me out of my closet.
we all do. I've actually run over.
They're going to kick me out of my closet.
Right. Yep.
All right.
All right, now just toggle one of them off. And that's the same thing as somebody opening up a safety gate. Does everybody get the idea?
Yep.
You're having to toggle it to say an operator went in there to unjam the machine or to do a changeover or whatever. Okay? So this is the way you trigger things. And this is a very simple circuit. The circuits we're going to be doing are going to be way more involved in this, and there's going to be a lot more stuff going on in there. This is just the very beginnings of it, of how you can run it and simulate physical inputs. That looks good.
All right.
Now, I want to show you something that Victor did over the weekend. I want you guys to see kind of what you're heading toward. So I'm going to get out of this and go to I'm going to do close. And just so you can see something that's a little more involved here. Which one was it? Was it the 2B, Victor? Or I think it was 2B, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then main routine. And let's go a little bigger. Now this is a physical. This is going to run on a physical machine here. This in my room here. So let's go a little larger. It's got 2 timers and 2 motor starters and 2 lights. Okay, so can everybody see that screen?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have here is we got a stop button, a start button. These are real physical inputs, and I'm going to run it on a real PLC. You'll see it run. You can also emulate the same thing on an emulator, and as soon as you toggle that start button, it'll go ahead and run like the real thing. It'll go ahead and time. It'll time out and run. Cut the motor starter on. It'll start another timer. And when it triggers off, then there's another motor that comes on. This is an idea of something further that you get into when you get into timers. And the only thing you toggle is the start button, and that's it. And then it goes on ahead and it runs a sequence like you guys wired in motor controls. It'll run the entire sequence. So I'm going to go Who Active, and I'm going to download in Ethernet. So I'm pointing to a physical controller with the Ethernet driver. And the .200, that's the one that I have here. And I hit download. So here, if it's a physical machine, you know, Ethernet, it's going to be Ethernet driver versus what you did on a virtual backplane driver. it all boils down to what kind of cable do you have going to the controller. Is it an Ethernet cable, serial cable, or is it virtual, you know? So does everybody see that right there?
Yes.
Yes.
Now up here we have remote run, and I'm going to hit the start button on the physical machine here. 1, 2, 3, start. I did that, and when I hit that, it started the timer. The timer then became enabled EN, and the EN bit there sealed in that contact. When it got to 10 seconds, that timer was done. The done bit of the timer came on, done, and that first starter came on. And also that same done output of the timer here started the second timer that's going. It's a 30-second timer here. The time base is in milliseconds, so 1,000 means 1 second. So if you want a 5-second timer, it's 5,000. After 30 seconds, it triggered this one, and then motor starter 2 came on. Okay? So let me show you with the camera, the physical machine run. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera over. And so here we have the 2 lights on that he programmed and the 2 motor starters right there. So if I can get the lights and the starters, there we go right there. I'm going to cut it off. So while you watch the logic, look at the webcam too. I'm going to hit start. You see the timer timing. After 10 seconds, then you watch this starter kick in and one of the lights come on. You see it? The first one kicked in, the yellow light came on. Now after 30 more seconds, the second starter is going to come on and the other light's going to come on with it. So watch the little red tabs down there on the second starter kick in. So you're at 15 seconds right now. Again, 1,000 equals a second on these timers because the time base is in milliseconds. So you're at 20, 26, 27, getting ready to go now. You see it? That starter kicked in and the other light came on. So this is the physical machine. And the PLC that runs it is up here. So if I back up, then that's the whole picture right there. I'm going to hit cut it off again. Let's see if I can manage. Now also, if I go up here where your inputs are, watch what happens when I hit the start button. You'll see a start come on. Well, there goes the stop. Press stop, it goes away. That's the stop. When I let go, the stop it is on because it's a normally closed contact. Now hit start, watch this one. Input 1 comes on. You see that? And that started the process of the timer you see on the screen. And then after it, you're going to see an output come on up here. Well, one of them's already coming on. One of them already came on. The outputs are in slot 2. So the outputs are over here. Let's cut it off again. Now you watch those outputs over there in that slot. You'll see the start button come on right there. After 10 seconds, look in that second module over there, and you'll see output come on. You'll see 2 outputs come on right about after 10 seconds. Now watch it close. And that you see it? You see those two lights come on in that right module? That was output 0 and output 4. That was for his starter and his light. The motor starter is here, and then the light's over here. Now you're getting ready to see another output come on. After 30 seconds, 2 more outputs. Output 1 and 3 is going to come on. Watch it close. Right about now. Watch it. 2 more is going to come on. See it? Two more lights came on. Output 1 and 3 came on the module on the right, that orange module. And that was this starter came on plus the other light, then the green light. You see that? So this was just Victor did this stuff over the weekend. He wanted to start writing logic, and so I worked with him and coached him on this, and he kind of went on ahead with it. Okay, so if you see it in an emulator, let's go out of this. Close. I'm gonna hit stop. I think I've got it in the emulator also. Emulate right here. In the emulator, look, if I go here, that was blank. Let's go. Emulator. Normal tags. That's just a single timer right there. Now I'll just show you what it looks like on the emulator with no physical PLC. Go in through your virtual backplane and go download. Now this is a timer functioning on an emulator. All right, now let's go a little bigger here. Now watch closely. All I'm going to do is I've got to toggle that stop button because a stop button is a normally closed button from outside, so it has to be on physically from the outside. The start button, it also needs to be triggered one time and let go of it. When I do that, it's going to enable it, and then the enable bit is going to turn on a holding contact here, which lets me let go of that. It's going to time for 15 seconds, and then it needs to be 15,000. That equals 15 seconds. Because again, you can't change the time base into 5,000 software. In RS Logix 500, you could actually choose a 1 second time base or in milliseconds or whatever you wanted, but you have one time base of milliseconds in this software. So watch what happens there. I'm going to right click the start button and then I'm going to toggle and then toggle it off. Like I press and let go, toggle, and then toggle off. So that was the same thing as me hitting a button and then getting off of it. So the enable bit of the timer triggered the holding contact I created, and now it's timing up to 15 seconds. And when it does, watch this, and then the starter comes on. See it? Mm-hmm. So the emulator runs exactly like a regular PLC. If I want to start it, reset it, I press the stop button, which would be toggle. It clears the accumulator, and I toggle that again. And now you're sitting back ready for a start command. So I toggle quick and then toggle again off. And that's the same thing as getting away from it. A momentary push button and that timer's timing. And the enable bit I had it assigned as a holding contact. And when it hits 15 seconds, then the done bit out here, the done output, it makes the starter come on into the motor runs. Okay. So what do you think about that? So this is the kind of stuff that you're heading toward using timers and counters and all kind of things. And you're going to get way more elaborate with it. And once you kind of get to running with it, you're going to get creative about it, and you're going to come up with some of your own logic circuits. And then you can just show me some things, some ideas that you have, and you can say, hey, I want a machine to do this and this and this and this and this and this sequence. And once you start getting used to actually what you can do with the instructions on the toolbar up there, like under timers, there's a bunch of timers you can use and counters. And for each tab you have, like, you got math instructions, different math instructions, compare instructions, all kind of stuff that you can get to in that toolbar with different tabs. So there's a whole world of instructions you can get to, and we're going to be covering a lot of them. You're gonna learn a bunch. So there's a whole lot you can do with these controllers, and you've got a nice package in your hands to learn on. So anyway, so I'll bring this to a close, and we'll cut this off here. I hit toggle, and now that was it. So I'll close that out. I'll say yes. Let's see. So do y'all, let's see. Does anybody want to share their screen, or is everybody pretty much ready to get out? I know it's 10 o'clock yet. I know everybody's tired.
Gotta get up at 6 in the morning, so yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. So does anybody have any questions or anything? I'm sorry to run over like this, but do y'all have any questions?
Nope, we're good.
Okay. All right. So if you ain't got no questions, you can exit on out, and we'll do this again Thursday at 6. And again, as we get to going and everybody has their stuff in place, we're not going to have so many stops. So this is a huge undertaking that it can be done, and we're going to do it. You know, we're going to do it. Everybody has kind of got their own hurdles across, and I'll help you with it. So, but Jamie, if anybody wants to stick around for me to help you with the install, I'll do that because I've got it open till 11 o'clock.
See you.
Okay, so yeah, so you guys have a good night. Have a blessed evening. If you're logging out, and whoever's going to stick around,
Have a good night.
y'all too. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Durwood.
Have a good one. How do you say Thursday in Spanish? I know it's
Jueves.
hasta jueves.
Yeah.
Hasta jueves.
All right, guys.
Keep making the bacon.
Right. Right. Keep the bacon going, Vic. Yep. I bought a bag of bacon bits about that big, man. I mean, I put them, man. If I ain't eating whole bacon, I'm eating bacon bits on salad or something, man. I got to have that bacon. I swear I do.
We're trying, man.
I don't eat sausage, but I eat bacon on just about anything.
Yeah, I don't deal with sausage either.
I can lose weight eating bacon. That's keto. Ain't that keto? Well, I reckon Jameson's out of here. But that's what's helping me lose weight. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Durwood.
Have a good one. Hasta jueves. Nathan, what do you think, buddy? You still in there, Nathan?
He fell asleep.
So yeah. Okay. So what? So you're on? Are you on your new computer now?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you're actually logging in with me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what version of is it Windows 10?
Yes.
Great. All right. So have you downloaded anything?
No, I just got the computer this afternoon, got everything started, and made sure I could get online and go get on the school website and all that.
Right. I'm sorry you went through all this stuff.
No, that's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, they told me, being that yours was Windows 8.1, but it didn't say Enterprise or Professional. That might be why. But they said they said you can try it. They don't know. They didn't know that it wouldn't work. You know.
Right.
They just said you could try it. So okay. So if you want to do a screen share. Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through all this stuff, but
yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, see, Victor went out and bought him a new one. McGill did. Connor and Cameron, they're having to get a different computer because theirs has got the same problem. Well, pretty much it's actually kind of different, but it's still Windows 8. So
yeah.
All right, if you can go online to ab.com. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hit English. Yep. Downloads.
I've done this so much now, I ought to be able to go through it.
You don't hit that. Don't hit drivers. Just hit downloads. You just click it right there. Yep.
So I go down to software by download by serial number.
Yes, sir. That's it. Yep. Yeah, you about got it. You can about do it in your sleep, couldn't you, Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done this like twice.
Yep. Yep. You need to, I guess, sign in.
Let's see. This ain't going to. I'm not sure if I wrote it down or not. Let me look. I saved it on my other computer.
Well, that'll be your school email, but as far as your password.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember.
Well, if you forgot it, just go ahead and put your email in there and say, I forgot. And then it'll send you a link to reset it. Yeah, they deal with this all the time with people forgetting the password. So there's always a way to.
Let's see. Let me try this. I have noticed one thing. This computer seems to be a lot slower than my other one.
It may be because we're in Zoom right now. You're using Zoom, and that's taking up a lot of your bandwidth. I bet as soon as we get off the line, it's going to speed up, Jamie. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
I think that's going to have a lot to do with it. I bet you'll find just as soon as we end the session that you'll see it speed up, because it's probably going to run all night long. You know.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be done enough in the morning. Do I need to put that little space thing in there? The little dash?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Let's see. We find that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I've gone through the heartache of switching over to computers too and having to get everything loaded on mine and relearning this thing. And it's just we get used to something and none of us like to change. I mean,
yeah.
Your product key's too long.
Let's see what I got there. Let's see.
Well, your serial number's okay.
K27549. Then the other one should be DGV9U, DGV9U dash. Yeah, I got an extra thing in there. That ain't even close. I don't even know where I got that from.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll be ready to lay my head down.
37. FY. There we go. Well, I figured with I got four, 5 more classes I'm gonna have to take. At some point, I'm gonna need a computer anyway. So
you will. You won't never regret it. You won't. Jamie, you're gonna learn so much in this thing. You're gonna surprise yourself. You really will. So click the little box over there on the left.
This one.
Yeah, that one right there. And now go way back to the right and hit under action. Hit your download.
I need to minimize this. Let's do that. There we go. All right. Right here?
Yep. Uh-huh. I know one thing, your screen share is perfect, man. It looks just like mine. I mean, it's so clear, it's amazing. I mean. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Anytime, Jamie, and you know this, you've been around long. I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'm 56, but
48.
You've been around, definitely been around long enough that every time in life that you think about it, every time in life that you are getting ready to hit another level in something in your life, there's a clawing and scratching that goes on, kind of, so to speak. You know what I mean?
You gotta want it.
Yep. And that struggle is there, and it's just like, man, oh my God, am I gonna make it up that hill? I don't know. Yeah, I think I can, you know. And it takes teamwork, man. I mean, every time I hit a new something to do, I have to have help. I mean, it's we all do. Yep. And it's something called teamwork, man. And
Oh yeah.
man, it always managed. Yeah. That's the secure way to do it. And then you can say run. Well, actually, you can say save. If you can say save, and then it's always going to be on your computer if you ever had to rerun it. So you can go under there and save it in your download folder. Go under the arrow and put it under the download folder, or hit save as. There you go. And put it in that download folder. That way it's always going to be there. Yeah, it's already there. I mean, just hit save. Yeah, that's the folder it's going to be in. Okay. And then after that, it'll give you an option to go ahead and run it. Go ahead and hit. You can hit run. Yeah, yeah.
Now, yeah, when you give us this stuff, I started on it Saturday when I got in, but I didn't get in about 8 o'clock that night. I got started. I let it run all night, and then it stopped, and I had to do some stuff on it Sunday morning, and then I let it run all day Sunday. It run all Sunday night.
Yep. I run into the same kind of stuff with my Windows 7 laptop. It went down to I couldn't. I said this is just not going to work.
Yeah.
Not going to work. And the college had got me a new laptop, but I just kept hesitating. I didn't want to even go through all this task of putting everything on here this quick. I was going to do it, but I didn't want to do it like now, you know.
Yeah.
I see that little blue circle down there. It should be getting ready to see your bar come up for your download.
Yeah, I think it, like you said, I think it's running slow because we're on this Zoom.
That's what I think too. I really do.
Which now today when I was setting this thing up, after I got everything set up and I was kind of messing around with it, like loading the school page and stuff like that.
Yep.
It loads slower than mine. My other computer.
What kind of a laptop is it?
This is a HP. But it's also got an icon on there that says I got some updates on it that I need to update, and I've been stopping it during class, try to keep it from doing it.
What you want to do? Do you know how to change your settings on update to let it do it when you tell it to?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's giving me the option to tell them. It's waiting on me to tell it when to do it.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna try to wait till I get all this stuff downloaded and then do it.
I know Saturday with who was it? With Eric. His actually the Windows started updating something in the background, and it stopped his Rockwell from doing its thing, doing the install. And we found that out, and I said, well, let Windows go ahead and do it update because it ain't gonna take long. And he let it go ahead and Windows update and be done with it. And then he changed his settings to where it would be manual update, you know. And then it went on ahead and let him do his setup. I'm wondering if we might be better off that maybe the end of session and see if it's going to speed it up some. But I'm gonna cut the recorder off on my end.
Okay.
Let's see.